So this is the Imalent MS03. This is Imalent's 13,000 claim lumen output pocket EDC light. And as you can see, it is very small. After watching the video, this is a very powerful light and a very compact package. 13,000 claimed lumens, 6 lighting modes, one of those being strobe, and it's also USB-C rechargeable, but that's after you remove the battery. So the battery cell itself has a USB-C port on it, and you plug the USB-C charger into it. This version that I got did not come with a pocket clip, although older models did. This one does not have the pocket clip, and although it does come with a lanyard, I found that the lanyard was actually a little bit too awkward to mount on here because the hole is here. So if you have it on your wrist, you can't really get to the button. So I just opted out not to use the lanyard. Standard in the box, you have your owner's manual. You have this nice quality carrying case, and you can put your light in facing up or down, with Velcro to attach to a belt or to hang from a carabiner or a backpack or something like that. You have a few spare O-rings, just in case you have a bad seal or something like that on your light, which I haven't had any issues with. And you have a USB-C charging cable. So, just kind of a quick overview. This flashlight does have a lockout mode, and it also does have memory function. But before I get to the memory function, for the lockout mode, you need to press this 4 times rapidly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see that it'll flash green momentarily and then go to a solid green, indicating that the light is hot or active. So you just click, and you can cycle through the modes by holding this button down. This light will ramp up to high, but not to turbo. And this does not operate like a traditional UI of most flashlights that some of you may be familiar with. And that kind of leads back to the memory function. So the memory function will remember the last brightness that you had the light at, and when you turn the light on, the next time it will be at that remembered setting. Now, to me, I really wish that there was a way to disable this feature, and I have not yet discovered the feature, and others also made similar complaints. But there is no ability to disable this memory feature, and to me, although it is not a deal breaker, it is something that I wish Imalent would think about going forward, because if you were to give this light to, say, a child after having this on high, and then they turn the flashlight on, instead of starting from low like most flashlights would, where if you just hold the power button momentarily, it will then start at its lowest setting. There is no way to force the light to do that. The only way that you can get this light to reset to low from its desired or memorized setting is if you were to loosen the tail cap to then reset the light, which is pretty inconvenient. So Imalent, if you can please upgrade this on your future flashlights, it would be much appreciated, because it is a potential safety risk, although it does not take away from the capabilities of this light. So now that we've gotten past the memory function, the sustained lumens for this light, being able to keep this at around 2,000 to 3,000 lumens for a long period of time is really nice. If we were to just talk about the pros, another pro is it does have a nice large button, and it does have a great amount of flood for, again, something that is basically palm size. This offers a great amount of flood that will overpower, in most cases, most car headlights or high beams. Maybe if you're talking about, like a Tesla or, some other cars that are producing some very high amount of lumens for their headlights. Kind of jumping to the cons of this light, or things that I think could be improved to add value to this light. The first and foremost is the UI, which would be the user interface and the fact that you cannot access low, and instead that is all overridden by the memory function. I know I talked about this earlier, but please, Imalent, if you could just improve this, it would really make a big difference in being able to add this to the functionality of the light, because if you have this on high and you turn this off and forget about it, and the next time you use it, you're back to that high setting, it really is just kind of like temporarily blinding in some instances, so it can be a potential safety risk. So that definitely needs to be improved on. The second thing that I think could be improved on is that the UI clicks are a little bit slow. So if I click this on, there's there's a little bit of a delay compared to most flashlights. And again, that's just pure preference and observation. And other people, it's not an issue with the light. That's just my observation. Um, Another thing is this needs a pocket clip, because if this had a pocket clip, a actual strong pocket clip, multi-directional pocket clip, I would actually stop carrying around a few of my other headlights and just take this, because then I could just clip this onto a baseball cap and use this as a very wide spreading headlight, which it could easily function as in a low or medium setting. So if they can add that, that would be a great feature. In addition to, if they had a tail cap switch option, that would make this light really probably one of my favorite flashlights, because a tail switch would just make this so much easier to use, because at night it is a little bit difficult to find this button, although it is probably double the size of most flashlights that are in this compact factor. It still is a little bit difficult to find, considering there's no clip to orient which side you're on at night. So you could easily kind of, just miss the button. So a tail switch would be nice. And the final thing would be if they could just relocate this lanyard location. Again, the hole is here, but if you're trying to use this in your hand, it ends up binding on your kind of wrist, and you can't necessarily press the button. So if that could just be moved to the tail, that would make a very big difference, and it would make this light a lot more enjoyable. So, those are just some of the things that I think can be improved, but overall, this is still a very nice light. So overall, this is one of those lights that, it is the world's brightest EDC pocket light. And if you are someone that is looking for a very wide-spreading, flood, no hotspot, just very overpowering flashlight that is an ultra compact package, then this is a great light. I do enjoy using this light, especially letting the dog out at night and things like that. So in a heavily wooded environment, I can say that this flashlight works very well and puts me at ease, kind of knowing that I'm seeing everything that I can within reason in a wide area. So if I were to break this down into categories and rate them on a scale of 1 to 5, for the first category being brightness, I would give this light a 5 out of 5. Again, this is very bright for the size, and it'll be very hard pressed finding a light with this build quality that is able to output such a high amount of lumens. Although it may not be for long, it still is capable of producing 10,000 plus lumens in a palm size flashlight. The second category being portability, I have to give this a 5 out of 5, because again, it's palm size, it's able to sustain over 2,000 lumens for a long period of time and produce over 10,000 lumens, and that is very nice. The third category being the UI or user interface, I have to give this a 2 out of 5. The 2 out of 5 is because, again, the UI is just not as good as other flashlights on the market, and not being able to access low from whatever your desired setting is really an inconvenience if you don't necessarily want to give away your location or accidentally blind yourself in the house at night. Being able to start from low is always the safe bet to go, and I really hope that Imalent implements this in some of their upcoming lights and kind of goes away with this auto function, or at least gives the ability to disable it. Jumping to the next category of design, I have to give this a 3 out of 5, because I think that this needs a kind of clip, a multi-directional clip, and I also think that this light would really benefit from a tail switch. It would make this a lot easier to use, but that is a personal preference. And the final and the final point that I'll get to is the cost value. And for cost value, I have to give this a 4 out of 5, just because there are flashlights that are similar in size that do produce over 10,000 lumens, that have a tail switch and also have a little bit easier to operate UI, accessing strobe and turbo modes, and that do not have the auto memory function. So overall, I give that category a 5 out of 5. But again, if you are looking for just that overpowering pocket, kind of brag-worthy flashlight to kind of show off, I think that this is a great flashlight, great build quality, and I think that Imalent is a great brand to purchase this flashlight from. Thank you for watching.